Let the good times roll, baby. We are back with another round of astrology shots to get us through the end of October. And trust me, you might feel like you need a few shots because the end of October, astrologically speaking, is some of the most intense, layered, and complicated astrology we'll see for all of 2022. We did have sort of a rough patch there in the spring. You might remember it. It was a tough time for a lot of us. This is going to be a lot more. This is going to be the most complex period of the year. So we have a lot to cover this week. But this first aspect that I'm going to talk to you about is kind of nice. So you want to lean into this and take advantage of it. We've got Venus and the Sun traveling very closely together here toward the last degrees of Libra and the early degrees of Scorpio. Some of you astrologers out there might be familiar with what this little strip of the zodiac entails. It's called the Via Combusta, and it means the path of fire. And the ancient astrologers, when they would see this come up in certain charts, they would gasp, like, oh my gosh, like there's something treacherous about this part of the zodiac. And the reason why is because the sun finds its fall in Libra, the moon finds its fall in Scorpio. These are life-giving luminaries. And in this part of the zodiac, it taketh away. So there's something a little bit like it feels kind of spooky about this part of the zodiac. But that said, Sun and Venus traveling closely together through the last bit of Libra is nice. And the trine to Mars is nice because this is a green light for us before Mars goes retrograde here at the end of the month. Sun's trine to Mars says, yeah, there's something you want to do. Get that ball rolling now because we're probably starting to run into some of these confusing like question marks that the Mars retrograde is going to entail. We're going to get more of those. So if there's something that you're feeling confident about taking action on, now is the time. And this may have something to do with a relationship. I know that Mercury had just finished up a retrograde in Libra. Maybe it taught you a thing or two about your partner that you weren't aware of before, how to communicate in relationships, some communication techniques. We got like a buffer on that there. So maybe there's something here that is reflected by this trine from Venus to Mars. We're experiencing some harmony here. We're experiencing some playfulness with Mars and Gemini, some flirtatiousness with Mars and Gemini. There's a lot of like charm and magnetism and play that this aspect is creating, as well as harmony and getting along. And because there's a square with Pluto here, that's the other sort of complicated layer here, we have an opportunity to build some intimacy here. So if we're leaning into that playfulness of Mars, there can be some opportunities for us to really deepen with Pluto, our connection. I have thoroughly enjoyed the Venus and Libra square to Pluto and Capricorn. I think it's one of those things where we're able to have like these deep, intimate conversations. And here, there's some levity with that Mars and Gemini. And it's able to deepen our connection, to deepen that level of trust with another person. I think it's also helpful, knowing that Venus is so strong in Libra. She is there to assist us on the relationship front. That, doing the Pluto bit, the Pluto excavation, it brings things to the surface that we've been ignoring, that we haven't wanted to talk about. It hasn't been a good time to talk about it, but this is a good time to talk about it. So if something's sort of bubbling up to the surface, especially after this full moon that we had with the Pluto station, there's more to it here. There's more that could be coming up. Maybe that was a little harsher. Maybe this is a little easier. So have the deep conversations, have the heart to hearts. And yeah, maybe there's a way, Venus and Libra, the art of communication, to bring like the playfulness of Mars and Gemini, that curiosity, the desire to ask questions, to be curious about where something could go. So that's what I will leave you with here. And that was your astrology shot of the day. Bye! Thanks for tuning in with me today. For more astrology in your world, you can connect with me on all platforms at Astro Catherine. You can also find me at catherineurban.com, where you can book your one-on-one consultation and get insights for your chart for the year ahead.